because, oh, here it is. Because we're all going to talk about teenagers, we're going to talk about their thinking skills and how to encourage them, to motivate. Yeah, and by young learners here, I mean those from 7 to 18, 17. So there are several core tenets that I want to cover in this presentation. First of all, this is the purpose. It's important for young learners to show them the purpose of the activity that we're doing. The thinking time is also important for them. The questions, it's important to ask correct, right questions, both for the students themselves and for the teacher. Peer support is absolutely crucial, and it's not my idea, but it was Lev Vygotsky who first started this topic. Responsibility is also crucial for young learners, especially for teenagers, to be able to think critically, and the special mindset of a critical thinker and someone who can evolve. So let's move on and talk about all these things in more details. So show the purpose. We are used to the idea that young learners, especially teenagers, they lack motivation. But in fact, I suppose that what they really lack is the willingness to do something that they are not familiar with, something that they do not understand what's in it for them, for their personal well-being, how it is connected with them. Here you can see a photo from one of my lessons. We read a text about food miles, which is the distance food makes from the moment of the production to the plates in our houses. This could be just a text for them, because like, okay, yes, yeah, we know, we understand the food travels, but they decided to bring the real food and did some research. They studied the package and they tried to analyze. For example, they were surprised to learn that the chips, potato chips, they were expected to be produced somewhere abroad because the brand is foreign, but they were produced locally. And they were even happy to eat them. And then the tomatoes, for example, we thought they were local, but in fact they were produced from far away from our Rostov region. That is important. This is the real life application of things. They started thinking, okay, do I need to read the food package? How does it affect my health? One real life aspect of critical thinking. And an important thing is that there is no rush at all when we work with young learners. They really need some thinking time. We've talked today about the reluctance of young learners to speak. Maybe they cannot speak because they need some time to tune in, to formulate everything, because they're so afraid to be laughed at, as it was already mentioned today. So the teacher should not expect the immediate response. What's more, if you ask them a question, something that they need to reflect on, do not expect them to just to start speaking at once. Give them some time. If you repeat the question once again, trying to help, of course, but it will mean that the whole thinking process will start over again, like you reboot the system. So please keep calm and just learn to wait. This is connected with the next thing. Young learners are naturally curious. They keep asking a lot of questions, which sometimes annoys us as parents, maybe, but as teachers, and as good parents as well, we need to foster these things. We need to encourage them to ask a lot of questions, because curiosity, in fact, did not kill the cat and did not kill any teenager, for example. This allows more opportunities for generating new original ideas. If we ask them open-ended questions, if they themselves ask open-ended questions, like what is the problem, why is this happening, this will lead to deeper learning, deeper engagement with the object learning. And an important thing is whenever they ask questions themselves, when they answer your questions, there are no right or wrong answers. We agree to disagree. This will help to promote their own opinion, and they will not be afraid to express themselves. This is again connected with this peer support. We know that the students develop well when they have the support of their peers, their zone of proximal development, and so on. But I wanted to introduce this idea of press F to respect. All our young learners play video games, and there's this rule that they all follow 100%. If you want to show respect to somebody in a game, you should press F. This is the rule that I try to apply in my classroom. They all accept each other's opinions. They do not literally press F, but they demonstrate the respect, which helps to promote safer environment for them to be able to think and answer the questions. We need to hand in responsibility to the students. For example, here in the photo, you can see one of the students presenting his talk about Stephen Hawking. They chose different personalities. The choice of personality is up to them. Every person in class has assigned a personality to study, and then in whatever format they want, they give presentation. All others listen and ask questions. They try to find more details just during the lesson, after the talk, and they have nice discussions. If we, for example, read a book, reading is always an active process. We always read critically, we ask the questions. So you can set different roles when reading something. So one can be discussion leader, the manager of discussion. Another one will be the word master, picking up all the cool words, culture collector, the connector who's going to connect the text with our own experience. This is safer for the students when they don't have to think about everything at once, but they have their own, sector, their something that they are responsible for. Gradually, they will come to this more multitasking. They become more multitasking in the critical thinking. And we need to foster growth mindset. This idea was introduced by Carol Dweck, famous American professor and psychologist. According to this idea, a mistake is an opportunity to learn in a very, very, very broad sense. So a person with a growth mindset compared to the one with a fixed mindset never sees a mistake as the end of the world, doesn't shut up and stop saying anything. But a mistake is something that is a kind of a trigger for me. Okay, stop here. What can I do to become better at this? What can I learn from this? This idea promotes self-evaluation, self-regulation, and autonomous learning, something that Nikitin was talking about in more details, and it's also connected with those checklists for writing and so on. When you can think critically about yourself, about your own work, that is also important. And I can say that, critical thinking is also kind of a mindset when we're able to think reflectively, rationally, and reasonably. These are the 3 R's of critical thinking. Thinking reflectively actually means to be able to toss and turn one idea in your brain, to think about it from every angle, to be able to ask questions like why, what if, and what does that mean to me, to all other people. Thinking rationally means to try to find some good arguments, to be able to accept the arguments that are there. And being able to think reasonably means to be able to think, like bias free, without any prejudice. Only cold reason helps you to think about that. I think that is everything I wanted to say. Here is my 10th slide with my contacts. Feel free to contact me. Critical thinking is one of my favorite topics, and I could talk about it 10 hours, but 10 minutes is a challenge to talk about that.
Well, when we do EFL Talks 10 hours, I'll know who to invite.
Okay, thank you very much.